Hey everyone, what's up? It's Haley and welcome to my channel. So as you can tell by my bingo board here, we are doing another Bingo Chooses My TBR video. So in case you missed the last two installments of this new TBR series, I have been using a bingo board to choose my TBRs. The last 2 months I was using the same board, but last month I did get a bingo, so this is a completely new board. As well as a new board, I'm also kind of changing up my rules a little bit, so if you are confused about that, go back and watch my last two videos where I explain the rules for that bingo board, and now I am going to be explaining the rules for this one. So as you can tell here, completely new numbers and no free space this time around, and that is because instead of doing it the way that I was doing it last time, I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. So I have assigned a reading prompt to every single bingo ball that is in here. The reason that I'm doing that is because it got just a little bit too complicated and a little bit too hard for me when I was only allowing myself to use the reading prompts that were limited to the numbers that are on this board. So I have like a spreadsheet on my laptop of what every bingo ball, what the reading prompt for every bingo ball is and who gave me those suggestions. I did ask for those suggestions on Twitter, so if you want to be more involved in maybe my next bingo videos, feel free to follow me there. But essentially what I'm going to be doing is every month I am only going to pick out 5 bingo balls. The reason for that is partly because I have been in quite a reading slump, so I have not read all of my TBR books the past 2 months, so I don't want to set myself up for failure. I want to be successful at this, so I'm only going to be picking 5 balls, which means I'm only going to be picking 5 books. The reason that I'm still using a bingo board is because I would still like to make this into a challenge for myself, and I would eventually like to do a giveaway. So once I do have a bingo on the board, I will be doing a giveaway and then starting another board from there. I hope that makes sense. I think it'll start to make more sense as we continue to play, but I do want to let you know that because I do want to make this a little challenging for myself, and I do want to, throw a wrench in it sometimes. There are a few balls where the prompt is actually to pick an extra ball that month. So I could potentially get up to 10 balls in, or I could potentially have 10 books in 1 month again. It's just a lot less likely than it was for the last couple of rounds. Future Haley popping in here, spoiler alert to what's about to happen, but I just wanted to mention that July does have a couple readathons that I wanted to participate in. I say wanted to because I really wanted to take part in the Book Junkie trials. I would have been an outlaw, but unfortunately I wasn't able to declare soon enough. I think I had to declare by July 1st, and I just wasn't able to get this video out by then, and I wasn't, all that kind of stuff. So I am basically going to be participating, but my book pages won't be counting towards the challenges or anything like that. So throughout this video I probably will be putting what prompts for that specific readathon these books could count for. And yeah, basically I just wanted to do this because I really wanted to support Rachel in this endeavor. I think it is one of the coolest readathons I have ever seen, so I'm really bummed that I was just silly and wasn't able to declare soon enough, but I am doing everything I can to support Rachel and this readathon. And then also I believe the Reading Rush is later this month. That was formerly the BOOKTUBERS. I would like to participate in that, but I don't know what the challenges are or anything, so I'll look out for that when more information comes out, and yeah, maybe I'll have a separate TBR video for that. So that being said, I think I covered everything. Let's get started. All right, I feel like this is going to be a lot better for myself this time, but you never know. Oh, okay. I actually have 2 here. The first one here is B10. So B10 is not on my board, but I do have the prompt for it. So this was suggested by Lindsay Reads, and the prompt is to read a book whose author has the same initials as you. Okay, let's see what I have. Okay, so my initials are HMB, and interestingly enough, I don't have a single book whose author has those same initials as me, so I kind of bent the rules a little bit and decided to look for a book where the author has H, M, or B in their name, so I wanted to have at least 2 of those letters in their name. So I am going with King of Scars by Leigh Bardugo. As you can see, Leigh, of course, has an H in it, and her last name starts with B, so she at least has the H and the B of my initials. I have been putting off this book. It has been such a highly anticipated release for me, so I am super excited to finally get to this. I know that it follows Nikolai as well as Zoya and Nina, who are actually surprisingly 3 of my favorite characters from the entire Grishaverse. So this one is a chunky one. I'm a little bit nervous, but I'm so excited to finally be getting to it. So I did pick another ball on that roll. 2 of them fell out, and that one is N36. So again, that is not on the board, but let me see what the prompt is. So the prompt for this was to read a book set in another country. The house phone just rang. Hold on. Okay, I don't know who that is. Okay, so as I was saying, N36 is a book set in another country that was suggested by Carrie from Carrie the Book Bell. I love her. Thank you so much for the awesome suggestion. Let me go ahead and see what I have. Okay, so like I said, the prompt was to pick a book that is set in another country, so I went with kind of an easier choice. I am going to be reading Orange by Ichigo Takano. I hope that's correct, but this is the first installment of this manga series. I don't know a lot about it. I know Becca recently read it and really enjoyed it. So this is about a high schooler in Japan who is about to enter 11th grade, and she receives a letter basically from her future self warning her that this transfer student that has just joined their class is basically going to suffer this terrible fate, and just kind of warns her to watch over him and all of that stuff. I assume this is going to hit me right in the feels, and I feel like I kind of need a manga right now since I have been in such a reading slump, so I'm excited to read this. Alright, on to the next pick here. So the next one here is I-28. Oh, it's on here. Okay, perfect. So I am basically just going to swap that out so we know that I picked it. This time, pink Post-it notes aren't quite as daunting as they were last time. But let's look at the prompt for I-28. Ooh, okay. So this is to read a book, or to read a book that you have put off. And this was suggested by Hiza Raka on Twitter and Million Books TBR on Twitter. So, but a book that I put off reading. I know exactly what I'm going to pick. And that is A Storm of Swords by George R.R. Martin. Now you're probably wondering, Haley, hasn't that been on the past 2 TBRs? And yes it has. Have you started it? Nope. I haven't started it. This is a book I've definitely put off. I was supposed to read it in May and June. It is now July and I haven't started it, so I feel like, yeah, this is a book that I've put off reading a little bit. And of course, this is the 3rd book in the Song of Ice and Fire series by George R.R. Martin. I have never read it before. I have no idea what happens because I've only watched the 1st season of the show, so I'm excited to read this. It is, again, a chunker, and it's supposed to break me, or it's supposedly going to break me, so looking forward to that one. Alright, so that is 3 rolls down. I have 2 more to go. Okay, next one here is, come on, N38. Okay, so N38 is to read a book whose title has the same number of letters as your name. Okay, that is super specific, and this was suggested by ERM Reading on Twitter. Again, I'll have their name right here. This is a really interesting prompt, so I don't know if I'm going to use just my first name or my first name and my last name. My first name has 6 letters, and my first and last name combined have 12 letters, so let's go ahead and see what I have. Okay, so this one was surprisingly hard to figure out, but I'm going to be reading City of Ghosts by Victoria Schwab. Of course, this would probably be a better like fall Halloween read, but it's what I found and I'm really excited to read it. This is a middle grade novel about a girl who I believe had an NDE, or a near-death experience, and she can now talk to ghosts, I think. Don't quote me on that, but I've been really excited to get to this. This was actually gifted to me for Christmas by Cody from Cody's Book Corner, so of course I want to prioritize the gifts that I've gotten from her and from other people. And so yeah, I am going to be doing this. City of Ghosts has 12 letters, so of course that is the amount of letters that is in my first and last name combined. And my final roll here. So I chose 069. So 069 is not on my board, but the prompt is to read a Slytherin book. Okay, so I'm going to have to do some sleuthing here and watch a video. Hold on.
Stories that I thought dealt with power dynamics in a really interesting way.
Hey guys, it's Hannah, and today I'm coming to you with the next video for my Hogwarts House book recommendation series, and this time it is book recommendations for Slytherin.
Okay, so I just quickly watched a couple videos. I watched two videos. One was by Common Spence and one was by Hannah from A Clockwork Reader. They both have videos on their channel where they recommend books based on the different Hogwarts houses, and so I watched their Slytherin books, of course. And the one that popped up in both of their videos was actually Vicious by V.E. Schwab. Now, I have actually read this book twice. One time was in June, so I was thinking that I could count Vengeful as a Slytherin book because I was supposed to get to this last month and I didn't, so why not push it back to this month and finally complete this duology? I think it's going to be a duology, right? I don't know. But this again was gifted to me by Cody, so I figured why not put it in here, and I feel like this will be a relatively quick read because I fly through Vicious every time I read it. So this series is basically about these two college roommates who want to research extraordinary people who basically have superhuman powers and abilities, and in doing so they actually set out to create them. They're like to create these extraordinary beings, and they basically go from friends to enemies. So that is a lot of what the first book is about. I know that there are some really amazing new characters brought up in this book, so I'm really excited to see where this goes. The reason that I think they really brought this up as a Slytherin book is because of like the power dynamics that come up with it, and I can totally see Victor and Eli both kind of being Slytherins, which, by the way, Slytherins totally get a bad rap. I love Slytherins. Some of my favorite people are Slytherins, so shout out to all you Slytherins out there. I appreciate you. But yeah, so this is going to be the 5th book on my TBR. So these are the books on my TBR. It's only 5, but a few of them are fairly chunky, so I hope I can do this. I know this is a lot of like the genre that I like. This is a lot of fantasy and kind of sci-fi-ish, so I think this hopefully will be the kind of TBR that will get me out of my reading slump. But either way, I'm really excited to read a lot of these. They're very anticipated reads for me, so hopefully it's a good month. By the way, I will be doing a May and June wrap-up. I just haven't really had the chance to film it yet, but that will be coming. Just please stay tuned, because I know a lot of you want to know how I actually did on bingo in those months. Spoiler alert, I failed both times, but that's besides the point. I'm going for success in July. So thank you so much for watching. Please feel free to like and comment. I hope you'll choose to subscribe, and I will see you in my next video. Bye. Oh no. I think that's okay. Oh, and of course, this is the 3rd installment of the Song and Ice. And of course, this is